Hi everyone, Melissa Sim here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about my story about how I was constantly hungry when I was growing up. It is a sad story, and to basically creating success in my life in corporate and now becoming a coach to help you guys transform your life and to kind of like let you know that basically you can do it. Like, it doesn't really matter what kind of background you come from, that you will still be able to make it in life if you decide to do so. And I think the key word is decision. So I'm going to go back a little bit in time and to share with you my story. Okay, so let's take a sip of coffee while we do that. And since it's going to be like a little chit chat, so I hope you don't mind, like I'm going to be sipping my coffee and just having a chat with you. Okay, so my mom died when I was 6 years old, and I recall that I wasn't even sad because I didn't actually know what it meant to have my mother dying when I was 6. And then shortly after that, life was just very difficult. Like, I was basically being neglected. I think I kind of grew up more like an orphan because I was just left at my grandma's place and my father was hardly around. So he was not really there for me, and I was basically on my own, very much alone, very much on my own, and just surrounded by my aunties. And my grandma was also like very busy, tending to her shop, so I didn't really have a lot of guidance. And in fact, I was pretty much taken advantage of because of the fact that I was, I didn't have any parent to kind of like be there for me, right? And so it was a very difficult childhood. And then later on, my father remarried and I've got a stepmother, which was when the drama really happened. And so my story was like a Cinderella story where I was basically doing all the housework. I have hardly enough to eat, and in a year of 365 days, I would literally be eating 300 days just fried egg with rice. And most of the time I was really hungry because as a teenager growing up, I was constantly hungry and there was not enough to eat. There just wasn't food for me to eat, and there wasn't even money for me to eat. And I recall that I would be like standing at the balcony of my house waiting for the bread man to come, and I would be buying this bread that cost 15 cents. It's coconut bread, and I have been eating coconut bread, like, I think for so many years that till today, I don't eat coconut bread. And I think for a long time I didn't even want to eat fried eggs because it was just something, like, it didn't remind me of something that was pleasant. And so that was my story, right? My story was growing up in a very hard environment, almost like an orphan. And believe it or not, I didn't even speak a word of English until I was 12 years old. And then it was then that I decided that I want to speak English. And I did, right? By the age of 14, I was able to speak fluent English. And so I also recalled that when I was like probably about 10 years old, my auntie told me that I can't be a secretary, because at that time I wanted to be a secretary. But my auntie told me that I can't be a secretary simply because my English was so bad and non-existent, and I couldn't even spell. Like, my spelling was really bad. I was having a lot of zeros in my spelling, like the red X for my spelling. And so when she said that to me, I got really angry, and I told myself that I am going to be a success. And so all I know at that time was to be a corporate success. And as I grew up, I really went through, like, really determined that I am going to be a corporate success. So I set goals throughout my younger days. Like, I would tell myself, like, hey, at this age I'm gonna hit like a 4-figure income, and I hit that. And then I'll say, okay, at this age I will be hitting, like, making this $10,000 dollars a month, and I hit that. And so it was just like, goals that I set along the way, to really spur myself to hit the next level and to reach the next level. And so in my last job before I quit, I was actually making like more than 400,000 a year, which was to me really good. And then I decided that I wanted to quit my job, right? So you might be thinking I'm crazy. Yeah, I think I'm crazy too. But basically, like, really what spurred me was like, I wanted to be able to share this message with the world. Like, how am I going to share this message with the world and go online and do all this thing if I didn't quit my job, and if I didn't really share this as in, this message of you can create your reality and you can do it too, right? And so right now, right, I live in a triple story semi-D. I drive a BMW. I mean, I have a good life, right? And all of this is true, really, that moment of decision where I decided when I was about 10 years old that I'm going to be a success. And sharing this with you is really, not kind of like bragging or anything, but because there are so many people that I see out there who seems to think that they can't make it because they come from such and such a background, or they don't have the education, or they are like disadvantaged in some ways, right? So I was disadvantaged. I mean, I didn't have money. I was struggling most of my life. My dad didn't have money to send me overseas. I saved 6 years to kind of like save for my overseas study. And I went to the UK, the United Kingdom, to further my study for my last year in computer science. But I saved 6 years, and even then it was not enough. And so that was when I went to my grandma and I said, "Can you help me?" And she gave me half of the other part of the money, which was my school fees, and the other half was from my savings, where I, kind of like self-supported when I was studying. So it was a long journey. It was a hard journey at the beginning, especially when I was young and I was growing up and I was a dependent and I didn't have any choice and I didn't know what to do. But at the end of the day, things worked out. Things worked out really well, especially from a corporate angle. That worked out really, really well. And so I wanted to kind of share this with you to kind of like let you know that it doesn't matter. Like, if you are like trying to get your success from corporate, that's fine. If you are trying to get your success from being an online coach, or setting up your own business, it is really about, for me, has always been making that decision to want that something, right? To want success. And the second thing is to work towards it, to really, like, when I decided, I actually make it non-negotiable. Like, I made a like small little decision along the way, which was knowing how to speak English, getting good results. And then after that was like, what are my earning capacities, like my goals in terms of how much I wanted to earn at what age, was something that I've set and I have achieved, right? And so this is something that you can do for yourself as well, that if you decide, I think that comes from a decision, a place of decision. And I want to repeat that because really that's when it happens. That's when everything starts to change, and that's when everything starts to happen. So that's it. And you may be asking, like, why do I now want to be a coach? Well, like I said before, it's because I wanted to help you achieve your dreams. I wanted to be an inspiration, and I wanted to help you to achieve your dreams in a practical way. So me, from being like a computer science student and then was in the information technology for so many years, I know I can help you set up your online funnels and systems and all of that. And I also know a lot about mindset, being certified and being through, this really, really hard life experience that I know I can share with you, and that you can be a success too. So if you are interested to move on to the next level, if you would like me to help you as a business and a mindset coach, do click on the link below for Magical Foundation, where you can create your reality and where you can also have your dream come true. So I'll speak to you soon.